Razaban here for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me on the phone all the way from New Zealand, the smiling assassin, Joseph Parker. Joe, how are we doing?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing very good. Doing good here in New Zealand.
Did you like the introduction, the smiling assassin? I was thinking about this. A lot of heavyweights have names, like Dylan has Body Snatcher, AJ just AJ, Tyson Fury the Gypsy King, Deontay Wilder Bronze Bomber. We need one for you. I think smiling assassin suits you.
Add that to the list, and I'm going to cast out a vote and see where it stands. But that's a good one.
Joe, I haven't spoken to you for a while. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the world at the moment. How are things in New Zealand?
New Zealand is from where I'm here with my family, my missus and 3 kids. Everything's good here. We're just indoors. We started the isolation 3 days ago. So we've been just pretty much staying at home and not going anywhere. Taking this very seriously because we saw what it's caused. There's been a lot of deaths and it's continuing to spread. So I think everyone in New Zealand is taking it seriously, and we're staying indoors to try and as they say, stay home saves lives. So that's what we're trying to do here.
There's a couple of countries, obviously Italy, Spain, I think Iran, America. These countries are quite bad in terms of what exactly going on and in terms of the number of deaths. Is it as bad in New Zealand?
I haven't really kept up to date with. I mean, there has been deaths, but I don't think there's been a lot like the other countries. If I'm correct, there might have been some deaths, but those countries have been hit hard. And for us, all we can do is I think everyone's working together. It's not like just countries now; it's the whole world trying to work together to try and avoid this, or not avoid, but try and work through this, because it's people dying is not a good thing. And all we can do is hope and pray that everything passes in due time, hopefully soon, and then everything go back to normal.
Joe, is there like a form of panic out there? Because like from the UK last week, people were going into the shops and raiding the supermarkets and taking everything off the shelves. Is something like that happening in New Zealand?
Yeah, definitely. It's there is panic, and there's people going into the shops and taking what they can and emptying the shelves. But the thing you got to remember is that the food will always be there. You can't go out when you run out of food and do the shopping, but everyone's panicking, and I've never seen this before. So it's quite an interesting time. It's quite weird times, and I just want to see how this ends up. Hopefully, hopefully soon. Just pray and hope it's soon.
No, we do pray and hope, obviously, and our thoughts and go out to the whole world and anyone who's directly or indirectly suffering. But let's hope we can come over this wave or from this virus.
Yeah. But that's the hope and prayer.
What about yourself, Joe? Obviously, as a fighter, how are you kind of keeping active? I know last year we had that injury back end of the year. You came back in February, I believe, and fought. I think it was there an Usyk's undercard.
It was a fight in Texas. It was Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas undercard. It was, and I fought on Showdown Winters. It was good to come out of that injury that I had, despite a bite. That sort of caused me to, be pulled out of the Chisora fight, which is a fight I really wanted. And it's always good to get the fight in the beginning of the year, because now look at what's happened, I was able to fight in February. I was planning to fight May or June, and then this coronavirus has hit, and it's not only delayed myself from fights, it's delayed all the other fights and all the other fighters around the world. But not only that, it's delayed, the whole world in terms of going to work, people that plan holidays, this and that. So it's affected everyone. And the way that I'm handling it is by training every day here at home. I'm fortunate with the fights that I've had that I was able to buy equipment. I got a treadmill, I got a bike, I got a ladder, I got weights, I got a bench, place to do chin-ups and sit-ups. So I have no excuses, to keep in shape. I'm going to keep in shape and stay ready, because when this finishes and when this passes, hopefully I'll be ready for whatever fight they give me, or they sort of pass my way. I'll take it with both hands.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that if a fighter doesn't fight, a fighter doesn't get paid. You're not on a structural wage package and a salary every year. So is that aspect of it quite hard, where you've got like no income coming in?
Yeah, you just got to, and that's where you have to be smart and budget what you have, so it can last, longer than, because things like this happen, like this has happened, this popped up, and, like you said, fighters don't get paid until they have a fight. So if it's delayed, hopefully, but for the fighters who've just started, it'll be a bit hard for them. For us fighters who've been in the game for a bit longer and who've made, who has made okay money, we can sort of survive and go get past this. But like you said, it's when you don't get paid, it's it's about budgeting smartly, I think.
Joe, we had Eddie Hearn on the channel earlier this week, and he talked about how if things didn't improve and things we weren't allowed to put people together in terms of stadiums and putting on big events, he would potentially look at doing studio fights and behind closed doors. Could you imagine the feeling of fighting in an empty arena?
I don't know. Like thinking about it, it's quite weird because what you sort of train for is that you train for this fight, but you're fighting in front of everyone. Then you have the pay-per-view, and there's so many eyes watching the fight. I guess if things do continue to be this way, and that's the only other option, and if that's what you have to do to get paid, that's what they're going to. I think that's what the fighters are going to do. But I can't really imagine it. I mean, it'll be interesting. I wouldn't mind fighting in front of an empty sort of stadium. I just we'll see how things turn out.
Joe, I just wanted to get your thoughts on a couple of other things that happened because of the virus. I don't know if you saw, I believe Maurice Suleiman put out some news about the WBC's drug testing program, how he was suspending it.
I saw that.
Obviously, there's a lot of people in the sport who have got caught cheating, but by suspending this, what kind of message does it send out, and is it bad for the sport?
What, suspending fighters or
suspending the program? Does it allow fighters to go ahead and cheat?
Oh wow! I didn't see that actually. I think having the rule in place of getting drug tested randomly, I think is a good rule, or it's a good thing to have, or a good program, because it it allows you to train and if anyone does take drugs or take steroids and they sort of do a test randomly, they get caught. You know what I mean? I think it's important to have something in place. So there's some guys who are taking stuff and some guys who are not taking stuff, and then it's not an even playing field. And I guess everyone should be clean. That's what I think.
Obviously, I spoke to Paulie Malignaggi, and Paulie's very vocal on stuff like this, and he's even gone to the aspect and said to me, even in the past, that, you know what, if you can't control the cheats, if you can't control how you check fighters, then just let everybody cheat and let everyone be on a playing field. But that just would be crazy, right?
That'll be crazy. And then it comes down to who's cheating the most.
Joe, obviously,
or it comes down to who has the best cheating way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Imagine trying to find an expert on how to, someone who can tell you what to take and how to cheat the best way.
Yeah. Well, interesting times.
Interesting. Joe, just want to go back a couple of months. Obviously, it wasn't even that far. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. You obviously know Tyson very well. I know you've got a very close bond with him now, and I've trained with him out there in Vegas. I think my first question is around Deontay Wilder, on how you come over adversity. Obviously, we saw you take that L against Joshua, and that was your first one in the professional ranks. What advice would you give of someone like Deontay Wilder, who's taken that first L at this stage of his career, on how he bounces back?
Yeah, a guy like Wilder is different because he's undefeated, right? And he had the WBC and he defended it. Am I right in saying 10 times?
Yeah.
And so a guy like that, the only thing he knows is winning, and the only thing he knows is knocking people out. And for him to take a loss like that, it's not that he's not a bad fighter. We know that he's a good fighter and a good finisher with a big right hand and knocks people out. It's just that he got beaten by the better man on that day. And I guess for him, if it was the best effort that he put in that day, he can always come back and work on his, change and adjust a few things and come back better and stronger. I think you just got to accept the first thing is just accepting that you lost, accepting the loss and accept the loss that you lost to a sort of better boxer. And once you accept that, you can work on, some of the negative things that you did and come back stronger and better.
We know Tyson Fury is the kind of fighter that goes on the back foot, feints a lot, throws that jab. But were you surprised with the tactics and that Tyson could do that?
I think everyone was surprised. I think, he came out and he put him on the back foot and chased him around the ring. He said he was going to do that. I don't think anyone believed that. I thought, everyone must have thought, okay, he's a joker. All he does is box and move it, and he's a very good mover. He's got good defense, and he boxes. But when he came out and took it to him, I think it surprised a lot of people, myself included.
What did you make of this video circling around? And obviously, there's going to be people out there that are going to be negative. But we saw these videos of Tyson and the gloves. I don't know if you saw anything.
I saw something about comment about the gloves, or he's cheating about some gloves, or this or that. I have no idea what they're on about. Okay. I would assume that before a fight, hand wraps are checked and gloves are checked, and then they're all signed off before walking out to the ring.
And of course, and obviously, the WBC, the Nevada State, obviously have their very strict rules, and someone's with you literally from the moment
that you enter the change rooms.
But obviously, we know there's a lot of people out there that there's people who hate, unfortunately, in this world. Do you think there's nothing more to it?
Yeah, I think it's just people trying to speculate something that wasn't there, and people that are just trying to make excuses, and probably people that don't want to accept the loss as well. And I guess it's just a way of them making an excuse. And I guess, hopefully they can accept the fact that he won fair and square, and that he trained very hard for that fight. He adjusted and changed a few things in his camp, nutrition, changed teams or trainers, and he got the result that he was looking for.
Joe, you fought across the world now. You fought in your own home country, in New Zealand. You fought AJ White and Hughie Fury in the UK. Where's your favourite place?
My favourite place to fight?
Yep.
Probably my favourite fight would be the Joshua fight, because of the whole event, leading into the fight, fighting in front of that massive crowd. But then, it was my favourite fight in terms of the how big the event was, but the way that I fought probably wasn't the best, and obviously he won. But in terms of the whole event, that would be my favourite, because of the the lead up and how exciting it was.
What about from a country perspective? Which country do you feel like, I love fighting in this country?
I love everywhere I fight. I love New Zealand. I love the States. Now I'm starting to fight in the States, and I love the UK. I consider them all my homes, because I've been there many times.
There's a couple of fight predictions. Obviously, May, June were going to be some big heavyweight fights, and obviously the fighters that were going to fight that you potentially were looking at, as well as opponents. Obviously, your previous opponent, Dylan White, was going to fight Povetkin on May 2nd here in the UK, in Manchester. Obviously, it's postponed for now, but interesting fight there for you?
Yeah, the Chisora fight?
White Povetkin.
White Povetkin. Yeah, that's for me. That's an interesting fight. Both of them, isn't it sort of portrayed as the left hook, who's got the best left hook? Both guys have good left hooks, and I guess it's an interesting fight. I would sort of side with White, because I just feel he's younger. He's got he's still got that hunger. He hasn't had the chance to fight for a world title, so he's still got that hunger to get to that place where he can fight for a world title. I'll sort of side with White on that fight.
And Chisora Usyk, I know Chisora is someone you were supposed to fight last year until the fight got cancelled. Usyk just bringing himself up from the cruiserweight division. We obviously saw him in the ring in heavyweight. We couldn't make too much of the first fight, but can you see Usyk with his size and his style, not punching power, cause issues in the heavyweight division?
I think he can. I think the first fight was a welcoming fight for him. It wasn't his best work. We've seen a lot better from him when he was a cruiserweight, but I guess it's different adjusting to a different weight class. I think now that he's had his first fight out of the way, he has a good team that will help him work on gaining the weight the right way, and the training, changing it up to match, and because the fight with Chisora's a guy who comes forward, walks you down for his big bomb. So for that fight, I would side with Usyk. Just the movement and the punching combination and style, and also the variety of punches that he throws. That's probably that's why I'll pick him.
Would you still want to fight Chisora if he loses?
Hell yeah, I want to fight them right now if I can. I've had that fight at the beginning of the year against Shondell Winters, but before we locked in the fight with Shondell Winters, we sent, I think, if I'm correct, there was offers out to a lot of other fighters. Duhapis, Salinas, Areola, Urqutepa. There was a few others that we were looking at fighting, and I was just happy that Shondell Winters took the fight. I was able to get a fight.
Another big fight that was planned June 20th here in the UK. Joshua to defend his unified titles against Pulev. That was obviously supposed to happen a couple of years ago, but I can't recall exactly what happened. I think Pulev couldn't make it.
Pulev must have injury or something. Yeah.
Pulev towards the end of his career now. Obviously, he's had that loss to Vladimir Klitschko. But do you think Pulev can still be dangerous?
He can be dangerous. I think every fighter or every heavyweight can be dangerous at any time. If you land the right punch at the right time, it's game over, But Joshua, again, he put on a great performance against Ruiz. After losing and in the short space of time that he had, he changed his whole sort of style, because he's more come forward and throw punches and meet you in the middle kind of fighter, right? Mm. But he was able to box box and move and not get caught. And he's a good fighter, and I believe that he will take the victory when they do face down.
Joe, just finally, before I let you go, a video has been circulating of you on media over the last couple of days. Don't worry, it wasn't one of those rude videos, Joe. She didn't put it out there. That you made me laugh. I think you made everybody's day when everybody saw that video of you dancing around. When did you come up with that idea?
Listen, my mate, that film became of the idea, and I was like, hey, let's shoot it. And it was fast. We shot it. It was quite fast, but the way that he cut it up, and he's got good vision for this kind of stuff. His name's Kerry Russell, and we thought the reason why we did it was because we thought, obviously he likes the movie. I like the movie as well. I haven't seen it for a long time, but that scene always stands out. And Hugh Grant, who plays there, he plays the Prime Minister, and it's like the Prime Minister is a cool and awesome Prime Minister in that movie, and he plays that part really well. And we just wanted to brighten up everyone's day, and give them a smile because of what we're all going through. And I think we achieved that. We've achieved it, and there's a lot of good positive feedback from it. So it's after my boxing career, I might be dancing.
The bit at the end was funny because when your wife walked in with your kids, and she's, "What are you doing?" And you were like, "I'm just training," and the way your reaction on your face.
So it was a bit of fun. It's fun doing it, but then it's also fun seeing the reaction and seeing the impact that it had on people. And people waking up saying, "Oh man, this is awesome." We had a good smile and good laugh, and that made us happy.
Joe, just finally, what's your message to all the fans, no matter where they are in the world and what they could be going through with this whole virus? But what would be your positive message to them?
My message would be, firstly, the first message would be just when you're home, just find a space to do a bit of working out. It's important for us to train, not only us as fighters, but everyone, because it helps with the mind and it helps physically and mentally. And then the other message would be just to please keep safe. Stay indoors to stay indoors, save lives, and keep safe throughout this time. And my thoughts and my prayers and my love goes out to everyone who's been affected, or those who are who are going through hard times. Because it's not only those who have been affected, but this affects everyone's lives. No matter what we're going through. So just stay strong, and we'll get through this together.
Joseph Parker, I appreciate those words. I hope everybody can listen and be wise and unite over this period. I really appreciate you giving me some time. I know it's really late over there in New Zealand. And without doubt, we'll probably catch up in a couple of weeks' time. If things haven't resumed, we'll catch up and see how you've been getting on.
Awesome. Sounds good, brother. Thank you.
Joseph Parker for IFL TV. Thank you very much.